Hi, I'm Margaret. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, from the South Bay area, Hermosa, Redondo, Manhattan Beach area. And I moved to Northwest Arkansas, the Ozarks area in 1998 and built my home here in 2002 where I currently live. And I am amongst the red state Republicans, primarily neighborhood, and despised for it as a conservative liberal Democrat. I have to deal with people who hate me. I deal with hate crimes, ongoing. I've just recently, someone put a bomb in my mailbox. I did nothing to them. It's nothing I deserved for it. And hate crimes based on region I'm from originally, and I've been a taxpayer here for over 25 years. This is the 4th of July. 4th of July 2025, the Republican House just passed Trump's poop bill, and it is going to suck everything out of the poor to feed the rich, to support their Republican votes and their causes in legislation desires. So when Republican little men out here in their cars don't work in the rural areas and they can't get to work, and they go apply for SNAP and SNAP denies them because they're unemployed, that's your fault because you voted for it. So don't you come and blame me for it and attack me, okay? That's your doing. Neighbor on my right and neighbor on my left and behind neighbor, you caused these actions to yourself. You notice how Trump always plays YMCA? He's always playing the YMCA, and when he's really happy, like when this bill passed, you're hearing the YMCA. Republicans in the red states don't know anything about the YMCA. And that's how Trump gets his way. Republicans don't know anything about how Democrats once had it before Republicans took things away from them, because they never had those things. Republicans never had the YMCA hand them lunches on the playgrounds and parks in the summertime when they were in grammar school, like I got in the 60s, that were taken away from us. The Republicans never had anything from the YMCA in recreational activities in their buildings, like ping pong games and basketball and chess games and swimming pools and activities that they could join and plan things, and the parents knew where their kids were and the kids could be somewhere safe. And those were all taken away by the Republicans. The Republican red states never had those things, so they don't know anything about it. And that's how these narcissistic pig Republican senators are getting what they want, because the citizens never had those things. They never lost them. They don't know what they're missing. But the Democrats in the blue states had them. We had in grammar school, I'd say in 5th grade, 6th grade for sure. No, I think it stopped in 6th grade. But in grammar school when I was little, 4th grade, 3rd grade, I think when I was really little, there was dentists that used to show up to our classroom and teach us how to brush our teeth. They would show us how to brush our teeth properly and hand us toothbrushes and a little tube of toothpaste. And we would get a little chewy pill to chew on, and it would dye our teeth, and it would show us everything we were missing when we brushed our teeth. They don't do that here in the red states. They don't teach kids how to brush their teeth. Nobody goes to their schools and teaches their kids anything about brushing their teeth. There is no social in the dentist office with even as the adults in what they're missing in brushing their teeth. If I say, well, when I was little and I went into the dentist office and the dentist told me you're not brushing the back of your teeth enough. Well, instead of spending more time in the bathroom brushing my teeth and getting in the back, I spent just as much time and skipping brushing the tops of my teeth, the flat parts, and brushed in the back, so I was getting more cavities in what I skipped to reach what the dentist was telling me I was missing, which, you know, I should have been told, you're gonna need to spend more time in there and reach way in the back and get these areas. And you know, I mean, there's no communication, there's no social skills in health ethics. In these red states, ethics, that's another thing that they don't get. Ethics means when you have a complaint about ethics, that means like bribery. Like if you want to make a complaint about an ethic from a professional service person, it has to be about that person making a bribery or taking a bribery, because they don't have any ethics skills that were taught to them. There is none. There's no ethics skills, there's no development skills. Another thing that the red states lack and didn't have, that the blue states had and was taken away. There was counselors for kids who were falling behind, that were skipping school in the 80s and 90s. I was on my own when I was 17 years old because my grandmother raised me and died of cancer. So I had to be on my own. And I found comfort in a motorcycle club because the streets were just too dangerous in Los Angeles. And this motorcycle club is called The Chosen Few. And I had a boyfriend named Tony, half-breed Tony. And he rest in peace, Tony. He was in Vietnam, and he was 7th degree black belt, and he was in guerrilla gang war, Vietnam. He finished that and worked for Fiesta Floats as a welder. So he made the floats for the parade. And he also part-time work as a counselor for troubled kids. So he went to a building, and there were other counselors that were one time maybe drug addicts that were reformed, or other people who had trouble issues in their youth that were familiar and that were then trained in counseling, that would meet with these kids, and they had their files on these kids. And these kids with Tony would go to people's houses and learn handyman stuff. They would repair porches, and they would repair screen doors for old ladies and learn things. They would learn things. Tony would take them to the beach and teach them martial arts and acrobats and self-defense, and teach them the right and wrong about it and how you don't abuse these things, and to be responsible with them. And it was a big plus. It's ethics. It's the real ethics of the environment, and taking troubled kids and developing them into constructive adults in society. were all taken away by Republicans. By the 90s, it was gone. The Republicans took it away. And so you come out to the red states and they don't know anything about that. They don't know anything of those existing. And so the Republican senators abuse this situation and take advantage of these people, especially if they're white supremacists. They have never experienced nurturing to help them develop into productive, loving your neighbor and supporting and not being so hateful. I mean, there's very little social, besides how are you doing and the weather and how's Billy Bob and yeah, I saw Jane the other day, and that's it. You know, I mean, there's no actual getting into conversations. There is no respect. If you know more than somebody else, it's resentful instead of learning, or how did you find that out? Where did that come from? Or, you know, there's no interacting in it. So they just shut you down. They want to shut you down. And so these are the kind of people that the Republicans take advantage of in the Senate. And they're getting sucked up. So now our country is hostage. Americans cannot call the Social Security Administration office and get anyone to answer the phone. We can't. There's no social available to us. Our communication is gone, and if Federal Works is gone from our availability. It's not there for us. I tried to go into the government login page and log in to get into the Social Security information of my account because of my personal interests. I needed to find out, and I couldn't even get into my log. I got logged in, but it wanted me to verify who I was, and I couldn't get into proving who I was. I wanted to show my ID, and it wasn't going through the motions. It wasn't getting to a place where I could actually take a picture of my ID and submit it or anything. It wasn't functioning. It was just not functioning. It would freeze. It would just not continue. So, no, Diamond, no. And so now we're hostage of the Republicans. They shut the communications down for us. And the next thing we're going to see is the next time because in the rural parts of America, like where I'm at, if your car breaks down, the workforce is like 45 miles away from us. So they're not going to be able to get to work. There is no bus to take them to work. There is nothing to take them to work. They have to drive. They have to get a ride to work. To get to the unemployment office, they have to get a ride to work. In Fayetteville, I'm in Huntsville, Arkansas, and it's now at the mall area. It used to be the Sears office there. It used to be the Sears building. Now it's the office there. And it is, it's about 45 miles away. And they are not going to be able to get food assistance because they can't get a ride because their car doesn't work. The next time we have an economic issue, which I can see coming. I mean, that's not even an if with these Republicans taking control. The citizens are not going to have any resources to eat. They're not going to have any food. They're not going to have any means to support themselves. So it's really vague. Our future is really vague. And it's the resources, economics aren't there. Like if there's a virus, a global economic a crash because of a virus, which we all know Donald Trump administration fired their first response team to a global economic virus, so we fell behind because of that, because he wanted to save money for his selfish purposes. I mean, I don't know how many examples Republicans have been shown to their faces of Donald Trump's selfish behavior, and they still support him. So this is your fault. This is your fault. Stop terrorizing me, bombing my mailbox, and throwing your garbage on my property, and your white trash. It's always white. A white styrofoam cup, a white bag. I have security cameras now on the front of my house. So all the cars coming by now, I'm going to see your driver's license and who you are. And I'm going to keep track of everything, and I'm going to report everything. I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to have everything to prove it, because you're terrorizing me. You're terrorists. This is terrorizing me. This is past harassment. It's terrorizing. This is federal now. You put a bomb in my mailbox. That's federal crime. I have done nothing to you but exist as a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. Just because I am a conservative, Democrat, liberal, you terrorize me. You know what? There's not 1 cent in heaven. Not 1 cent. How is Trump going to get into heaven when he doesn't have anything to offer? Republican senators have not shown anything worthy to offer holy God. He doesn't recognize anything they're doing. Holy God only recognizes the truth. And that goes for every citizen and myself around us. He only recognizes the truth. He doesn't recognize a lie. That's who he is. He's the truth. He doesn't recognize you. You aren't getting in. The gate is made by truth, and it's free. There's not 1 cent in there. Not 1 penny. He will recognize me by the good things that I do. And it's not for myself. It's for others. When I help an animal, it's to help them. Republicans don't understand that. When they help an animal, they want to go brag about that on everything to get recognized by it. They do it for acknowledgement by society and donations. They want to get money for it. That's your reward. That you got your reward. That's your reward. God doesn't recognize that. Like you all say, good luck with that.